This is what a walk looks like with this very driven, but also very reactive Malinois pup. So it's clicker training. So it's click food for everything. And I don't even mind the jumping. I just give a little bit of a leash guidance to calm him down a bit. He got very uppity after that bike went by. And then also we're using food, which also creates some uppityness. But food is also a great way to control him. It helps focus him. And so since it's helping him, we are utilizing it immensely. And also just to build, a little bit of a comfort level with all the things he's reactive to. So basically, I like to have, he's on prong collar, and I like to have the leash behind me. The clicker is in my right hand and the leash is behind me. As you can see, I can reach down and grab the leash anytime I need, but that way I can deliver fast food rewards on the side that he's on. This prevents him from curving around me. Also, I'm able to stop him from moving out ahead of me. And so there's a lot of benefits to training like this. If he starts grabbing things on the ground like crazy, anything like that, I can always pick up the leash. If a dog comes by, which is the worst thing for him, I'm picking up the leash. So anyway, what we're doing is every time I turn, I click because he moves with me. So click food. Click food. I try not to have my hand in my treat pouch when I click. I try to just have it resting at my navel, but it is quick, easy access on my right side right now. Eventually, I'll put the treat pouch behind me, okay? But for right now, I don't mind him seeing it and kind of relying on it for focus, very early stages. So this is heel work right here. And what I'm doing is heel is movement. Heel is a movement command. However, I'm teaching the position of heel to this puppy. And he doesn't even have to be ahead of me for me to do it. But I just take a step back, loop him around with a food lure into a sit. So we actually always end heel with a sit. It's really about reinforcing the position. Something else, there I do it again because he starts going after food that he's knocking out of my hand. I need to be a better deliverer. We're still figuring it out because he's pretty intense with biting at the food. So we're still figuring out the best way to hold the food. But anyway, see, there's an example of where I grab the leash and guide him a little bit extra. I'm clicking for him just being next to me. If he feels leash pressure and he gives into it, click food. For heel, click food. For sit. Also, anytime we hear a noise that gets his attention, click food, click food, click food even faster. And I click while my hand is in the pouch getting more food. And I have an example of that. But mostly we try to work a bit more slowly where there is at least a few steps of space between the clicks. In the neighborhood, I can go longer without rewarding him. But this is right outside the park in new territory. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm doing right now. We also work on just hanging out. So there's not a lot of pressure on him, but I'm not going to constantly be rewarding him all the time. I also want him to just settle next to me. So we're kind of balancing a lot of this food work and at his age, getting into adolescence, with just hanging out next to me. Sit was too hard. Sit is not too hard in my neighborhood, but this is our first time walking down to the park. And as you could see, I was constantly resetting him in sit. So I need to stop asking for so much because this is a really emotional dog, really confused about the world, really on edge. And so instead, I'm going to use the leash and just leash pressure. You can see him spin right there, a little confused. I'm just going to use leash pressure to say, nope, you can't pick things up off the ground. Nope, you can't go over there. Nope, you can't do that. But you don't have to sit her down. You just have to hang out next to me. So I'm not asking for much. And by doing that, it can be really helpful for the dog's brain to just learn how to settle and relax next to you. But if you don't practice it every single day, it's not going to land, right? And so you see that big yawn, that's a bit of a calming signal. And again, just using leash pressure. I was firmer on that one because he looks down at the ground to grab stuff. He eats rocks and other very dangerous things. So I'm pretty firm about that. But again, I'm just using pressure to say, just hang out next to me. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just going to relax. And then if I get a few seconds of, even if it's just seconds of him seeming to just kind of hang out, then I can move on, to my training. And I'll include that several times throughout our sessions. What you're seeing right here is I'm having longer bouts of walking without rewarding him. So I'm only rewarding him on the turns. And that's just because we don't have any distractions around us. Again, I'm on the other side of a park, and so we're seeing people go to and from at a distance from us. And since I don't have anybody, I'm just doing the click and food right before or right after I turn. And he's just going a longer period of time without being rewarded. That's really important to start to mix in whenever I can, as quickly as possible. Okay, so right here, he had been doing better with dogs behind fences in the neighborhood. So I thought, I'd see how he did passing a dog with this same style, because he's doing good with it with people and dogs behind fences. It did not work. You're about to see why. He started really biting my hand pretty intensely. So once I get him turned around, I just have him sit, reward him a few times. We just kind of take a breath because the dogs are moving away from us. See me shake my hand. And then, I was trying to get him back into a group. He was just too all over the map, too amped up. And it gets to the point where I'm afraid my food is accidentally rewarding that intensity. I do need to do something to trump that intensity. But still, we saw another dog right away. So I decided to try again, maybe after, working through that, he'll be better. And that was a no. Now, here's the crazy thing. It does not look bad on camera. It doesn't. But you're just going to have to trust me. That one right there was really intense. The way he felt on the end of the leash and the level of intensity. It's pretty bad. And you got to consider how young he is too. And so the food is not going to work for that like it has for people and dogs behind fences. And so I am going to be looking into other ways to kind of calm him down first before being able to do this. But it was important for me to show that because I want you guys to see what it looks like when things don't go according to plan and they don't pan out the way, that I thought. So I'm going to have to come up with something different. And the reason it's not just, easy, just correct him. It's because they don't land on him very well. He's just his temperament, and he's still very, very much in puppy mode as well. And so there's a lot of reasons why it's not just an easy, just correct him. It's going to be a bit more to it than that.